SportsCenter, we've got an interesting development from Browns camp. Fifth-round draft pick Shedeur Sanders will start their first preseason game at Carolina on Friday. Cleveland quarterbacks Kenny Pickett and Dillon Gabriel have been banged up, so the team actually signed Tyler Huntley. 40-year-old Joe Flacco, by the way, is healthy. Jeff Darlington is back, and we say hello to America's coach, Herm Edwards. And I'll start with you, Jeff. What more can you tell us about Shedeur Sanders getting his first start on Friday?
Well, yeah, some big news for the Cleveland Browns announcing that Sanders will in fact get that start. Now, there is some very important context to this. He is still listed as fourth on the first depth chart that came out. He's still behind Dillon Gabriel and Kenny Pickett, but both of those quarterbacks are dealing with hamstring issues, so they won't be able to play in that game. We know that Joe Flacco is the projected Week 1 starter. As a result, he won't play in that game either. So this is, though, for Sanders an opportunity to do something that he doesn't often get to do in practice, which is get reps. Repetitions are hard to come by with the Browns because they have so many quarterbacks, so it is a huge opportunity for the Browns' fifth-round pick.
Yeah, I mean, Coach, if you're Kevin Stefanski, their head coach, how are you sort of evaluating all of these quarterbacks when reps are limited and they're all hurt?
Well, you're right. When they're hurt, it's very difficult. But I will say this, there's not enough reps to go around. Now, Joe Flacco doesn't need a lot of reps. I mean, you can just go in the game. We know what Joe Flacco can do. Reminds me a lot of Vinny Testaverde when I had Vinny. He's ready to play. But I think if for Shedeur, if you're getting the start, you need to show off. I mean, you need to go ahead and win the job. I mean, get in there, being the starting quarterback, and you know what? Take advantage of these reps you're about to get in live action. That is going to help him a lot if he can play well.
You know why you say Joe Flacco, you know what you're going to get? Because I thought this stat was incredible. The Browns came back to the NFL in 1999. They've had 40 starting quarterbacks since, and only 3.
You know what I mean? The 144th pick for the Cleveland Browns. He's the son of my walk-in talker. He's the son of the guy that I did the walk and talk with, you know what I mean, Shedeur Sanders. So you can check out the walk and talk too, you know, because to get him back on the field and messing around with him and having fun. And I love at the end of that walk and talk what he said, you just want to feel what it feels like to be on that. I'm not going to get distracted with that. You go check that out for yourself right now. But we're not talking about Deion. I'm talking about, well, I am talking about Deion because I'm talking about his son. They got picked 144. I said, wow. This is crazy. You guys do see Shedeur Sanders will be starting at quarterback Friday in the preseason open. Oh my God, man. Oh my God. Yo, can you believe that? Can you believe this, how this plays out? You can't make this up. If you hire the greatest writers, they can't write this up. You can't AI this up. AI. Give me the craziest, wildest story that you can know. You can't even, it blows my mind. I wonder, what did they say when they said, well, we got to start him? What do you mean you got to start him? What the hell do you mean you got to start him? Now, this is after the owner came out. I don't even want to address what he was saying because it made no sense. They told me when I drove home that night that we were going to drive, no way. That was clearly, I'm pretty sure he was just trying to give the GM some power and some credit, but he did a poor job because he boo-booed all over Shedeur in whatever he was trying to do. But you're the fourth quarterback, and now you're going to get a start after dropping all the way down. You were the 5th quarterback in the room, really, because Deshaun Watson was, above him. You went the 5th round, 144. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how I'll see certain things. You know what I mean? I'm gonna just say it this way. I don't know how else to see certain things. So I always look for God in all things. Because I gotta have life make sense to me. I was talking about that when I was talking about the immigration situation here. When someone has worked that hard and put in the time and did it right, it should work out for them. They've earned that. That's being just. Being fair is giving everybody an opportunity, but being just is what you're ultimately seeking. And I'm telling you, let me tell you, my mom always said things work in threes, and I'm just gonna tell you like this. I thought, wow. When I got this, wow, what a play. Let me give it to you. Works in threes. Shedeur Sanders. We talked about it on draft day. Finds out he has cancer. Thinking about on this one day that he prepared for 20-some years, him and his boys, I'm done. And then he gets this horrific situation that happens with his boy, who all they've ever dreamed of was getting him drafted above Shedeur Sanders. And he's going to suffer through some great pain, dealing with a pretty tough situation. But in the end, everybody calling, asking for prayers and wondering what was wrong, made everybody tune in when he spoke here with me and in his press conferences. And that great thing he went through, that great mess turned into a message, and everybody starting to go get checked. Who knows how many lives he's going to save? But he went through something to get there. In the end, God put him on top because everybody that was worried about him tuned in, and everybody that was worried about him got a message to worry about everybody that you love and go get checked out. You see, that's when I say what the devil means for evil. God makes it good. And then I turned around and saw it, not one time, but 2 times. Because I watched Shannon Sharpe over at the Hall of Fame. And I saw just how he moved, and I saw all his interviews. I sat in the Niska luncheon and I heard him speak. I heard the tears roll down his face as he sat in there with the great men that he has admired and has played the game at the highest of levels, balling like a kid because his big brother is getting what he deserves, his rightfully spot at home in the NFL Hall of Fame. I couldn't help but sit there and think all that he had gone to prior to coming to the Hall of Fame with the loss